Things that are supposed to be wholesome like dolls and playgrounds are so easy to make creepy. You just need to throw a little bit of dirt on them and then bring in that slow, creepy kid music where they're like singing like ah na 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 na. So it should be no surprise that we are getting into some seriously creepy territory with a list of places that used to be the home of joy and laughter and now they look like Freddy Krugers' living room. Hello most amazing Top 10 family, I am your host Jade Arena and for today's list we are going to be counting down the top 10 abandoned playgrounds that are cursed. And for this list, we are going to be exploring both meanings of cursed. We are going to be looking at places that legitimately look haunted and places that are so horrifying they make you have this weird feeling in your soul, like the internet version of cursed. As always, I would love it if you could like, comment, subscribe, and hit this little notification bell, and stick around until the end of the list because I'm going to be reading out and answering some questions that I get through Instagram. If you want me to read and answer your questions, you can hit me up through the gram. Without taking any longer, let's get into this list. Coming at number 10, we have make your own playground. Here's something I never considered for an abandoned playground. You take a place that is abandoned and then you turn it into a playground. YouTuber Katie McDonald took her crew of parkour and trick skill professionals who range from slackliners to skateboarders, and then she went to an abandoned shipyard to make it into a place where you could have some fun. Well, they call it fun because they seem like the thrill-seeking type, but this kind of stuff makes me want to curl up into a ball and wish I was back at home. Just take a look at this clip. Yeah, they are definitely making the most fun out of that place, but I think if I was slacklining over an empty warehouse and the fall would mean I would splat on the ground like an old tomato getting kicked against a brick wall, I would be clenching that rope like you're clenching your bumhole when you're stuck in traffic and you gotta poo. Alright, coming in at number 9 we have the abandoned Burger King. Now this one isn't the scariest one on the list at first glance. It honestly took me a second to get a real chill from this place, but once you look at it for long enough it really starts to feel eerie. YouTuber Abandoned Underground went through a Burger King that had been abandoned and took a look at the play place. And the place hasn't been left for so long that it's become a rusted mess, but it looks like it's been sitting there for at least a few years. When you just take a quick peek at it, it just seems empty, like it would look after it was closed. But the fact that it's daytime makes it feel so much creepier and cursed. It feels like it was pulled right out of a zombie movie. Like this would be the scene where the guy walks into the Burger King and no one's in there but he still doesn't know what's going on. Then eventually he explores and some zombie jumps out and starts eating his face. Coming at number 8 we have Luna Park in France. Playgrounds don't always mean a slide and a couple swings. When you get into the big leagues you start to take kids to amusement parks, which I absolutely love. Roller coasters are one of my most favorite things in the world. You just get tossed around, you feel the shot of adrenaline go through your body as you rush down the tracks. It truly is amazing. Now what happened at Luna Park in France would have for sure given you a shot of adrenaline, but not the kind that you would be looking for. There was a massive accident that happened on one of these rides, and it took place on one of the scariest rides ever built. Known mostly as the slingshot, it's a ride that fires you into the air with what seems like massive bungee cables that sit on either side of a cage that you're sitting in. Well, on the way down, one of the cables snapped and the cage smashed into one of the large metal beams that hold the ride in place. This caused one of the people inside to break their leg. Not to mention they were stuck in there for over an hour while they waited to be rescued by firefighters. I don't think this was the thrill that they were looking for. Coming in at number 7 we have Katie Strikes Again. The first place we put on this list was with Katie turning an abandoned building into a playground, but that wasn't the only time that she did this. She actually has done this quite a few times, and I thought we should share another one because they're all pretty amazing, and they do scare the hell out of me. This time her and her crew of thrill seekers ended up on a massive abandoned ship. The ship itself looked cool as hell, and there should be no surprise that they were successful to turn it into an abandoned playground. Dude, Dude, I wish I could do that. She climbs up there so quickly and then just takes off running. I would be wheezing so hard if I could even make it to the top of that thing. Coming in at number 6, we have the marching men. The thing about a playground is once it gets left behind, the pieces just stay there. People don't come in and clean it up afterwards. It just stays a hulking mess in the middle of nowhere, and then you get pictures like this. I couldn't find out exactly where in the world this was taken from, but it really creeps me out. These marching men look like they were just brought to life and they're gonna rise out of the water and come kill us. It's like that episode of Simpsons where they go to Itchy and Scratchy Land and all the robots get a thirst for murder and they start killing everyone. How do they save the day in that episode? I think I should rewatch it just in case that becomes our reality. Coming in at number 5, we have Exploring with CF. Going to some of these places is like taking a peek at what the world would look like after climate change kills us all and we have a shell of our former civilization. This is the vibe I got from our next point. I pulled it from the YouTube page Exploring with CF, and the park itself isn't that spooky. I mean, it's dangerous because it's all run down with a bunch of rust on everything. One wrong move and you could have a jagged piece of metal stab right through your arm and then just bleed out on the ground. But what freaked me out about this is how end of the world the whole video feels. I mean, the host is wearing a backpack and hiking boots and kinda looks like he's ready for the world to collapse. It's almost like, was this video taken in a timeline where the world fell apart and everything is like The Last of Us? Coming in at number 4, we have Holy Land, USA. It should be no surprise that there was a Christianity theme park in the good old US of A that opened up in 1950, and it should be no surprise that for 30 years this place was massively popular. Really, the place was a huge hit until the owner died and then a whole bunch of creepy stuff started happening. There was a dead body found on the ground in the theme park, and there were rumors that the whole place was cursed. Yeah, no thank you. I don't need to go check that out anytime soon. Coming at number 3, we have a whole lotta jungle gym. If you're wondering how our grandparents were able to get that old man strength, this is how. Because they would spend their whole childhood doing chin-ups on one of these bad boys. You know how strong you will get as a kid if you're running around on one of these mini gyms? You will get equally as strong as the amount of head injuries you get from falling off of that thing. That's the new law I just made up. The playground will make you as strong as it makes you dumb. Coming in at number 2, we have One More Time with Katie. Okay, this is the last Katie McDonald video on the list, but they are so high quality, I almost think that 3 is not enough. For this abandoned playground, her and her crew went off to an amusement park in Cleethorpes in the United Kingdom. Okay, this one, even though I don't think I have the upper body strength to be able to climb and do those things, it does seem like a lot of fun. It makes me want to go up there and climb and run around on those slides, but if I did do that, that place would for sure be cursed because I would fall to my death and then my stubborn ghost would be floating around that place until the end of time. Coming in at the number 1 spot, we have the BOBLO amusement park. And what better way to follow up our last point and fill out the number 1 spot on this list than another amusement park that has been forgotten. This place was open for nearly 100 years, but has been forgotten since the year 1993. The place was shut down when one of the owners was nearly killed in a car accident. Since then, there's been a looming feeling of misfortune around the whole place. This is a place you shouldn't go check out unless you're looking for something creepy to keep you up at night. Alright everyone, that has been our list, and as promised, I'm going to read out some questions that I've gotten through Instagram. Remember, if you want me to read out your question, you can hit me up through the gram. First up, we have Clownin' Around 5124, who wrote in and asked, what's one thing you would never do again? I think it would probably be bungee jumping. I really am interested in skydiving because I think you would be able to enjoy it for longer and like feel the experience, but bungee jumping just felt like I was gonna die for 2 seconds and then I didn't. So I don't really think I got anything out of it other than stress on my heart. Blaine G.W. Bayless wrote in and asked, who is your favorite comedian? Well, this is actually a super hard question because there's so many greats, but I'll give you a few. Dave Chappelle is forever amazing. There was a time when he was the biggest comedian in the world, and he's still insanely hilarious. Anyone would die for his career. Bill Burr is also legendary. He embodies so much of who he is on stage, and a lot of people overlook that he's one of the best act-out comedians ever. And the last person I'll put on the list is Eric Andre. Not so much for his stand-up, but the Eric Andre show hits my sense of humor perfectly. And the last question comes from the Big Bang Files, who wrote in and asked, what's your favorite hobby? I would either go with fitness or gaming, probably. Like, I love learning about both equally. I have gaming and fitness podcasts I listen to pretty much every day, and I play pretty much every single type of game. It doesn't matter what genre it is. And also, I built a little home gym so I could work out during quarantine. Alright everyone, that has been our list. Thank you all so much for tuning in. As always, I would love it if you could like, comment, subscribe, and hit the little notification bell. Until next time, I've been your host, Jade Arena, and stay away from cursed playgrounds. Bye. Coming in for the #1 spot, we have the BOBLO, BOBLO.